After Gaoh Mukaku dies at the hands of the strongest Shen Wulong, Yan, accompanied by Gilbert, Niko, and William, arrives at Gaoh Mukaku's hideout where this fight happened. And while Yan is clearly not pleased seeing the state Shen Wulong is in after taking damage in his fight against Gaoh Mukaku, we see Niko take a glance at Gaoh Mukaku's dead corpse that has been sliced in half by Shen Wulong. He then says this: after all the shit that he has pulled over the years, this is how he ends up? Pathetic. Those 3 panels of Niko reacting to the death of Gaoh Mukaku, his former master and father, carries layers of depth that I will be discussing in this video. Don't forget to like and sub if you want more of these types of videos in the future. We already know the connection Niko has to Gaoh Mukaku, but I want to talk about the Gakigahara forest incident for a bit because it is one of the most important turning points in their relationship. A quick recap of what happened in the Gakigahara forest. Gaoh Mukaku was going to take his final 7 students to the Gakigahara forest to perfect the Niko style by teaching them the secret technique. His disciples or sons were all called Niko but distinguished by number. And during that training, Niko's 5 and 6 betrayed Gaoh Mukaku and the rest of the group, resulting in 3 verified survivors. Niko number 6, who would later on be known as the last Niko, Gaoh Mukaku, who abandoned them after this betrayal because he knew it was connected to the worm, and Niko number 4, who later on becomes Oma's master, taking the Niko style in a different direction. But one of the last words that the last Niko said to Gaoh Mukaku right before he had to retreat was this: by the next time we meet, I'll be long past you, Mukaku. This promise ends up being fulfilled, but in a very twisted type of way, because Gaoh Mukaku had a vision of what he wanted the legend of Niko to be, and he had explained it to all the Nikos beforehand, and it goes as follows: I'm going to have to run amok all over the inside and make the name Tokita Niko infamous. Before long, your villainy will become a single legend, the legend of Tokita Niko. Gaoh Mukaku here is admitting that the legend of Niko is not meant to be a hero, but a force of chaos and evil, a tool Gaoh Mukaku was going to use against the connector. And with that description, who better fits that intention? Was it Oma's master? No, it is the last Niko, Niko number 6, who almost fits perfectly into this description. And it's no surprise that this is the case, because in the character bio for Niko, there are 2 interesting facts that are brought up there. The first of which is that Oma's master is someone that the last Niko respects as a fellow brother, even though they had their fight to the death. But he hates Gaoh Mukaku, the person who has shaped him more, who he has modeled himself after, is not the man he respects, but the man he hates. And we see how he has taken on those attributes, mainly that of being a manipulator, from seeing the backstory of Agito and what he did to them after gaining their trust, to the multiple Gu rituals that he has done before, in comparison to Gaoh Mukaku, where we have only one case where he actually did or organized a Gu ritual with all the other kids that didn't quite make the cut for the top 7 final students he had. This is more than likely the reason the last Niko betrayed Gaoh Mukaku as well as Vi, because not only till this day do we not know why they chose to deflect from Gaoh Mukaku, a man that they have known their entire life and considered a father figure, to basically doing the worm's bidding. Add on what I mentioned earlier about Niko hating Gaoh Mukaku. 5 also looking very angry at Gaoh Mukaku to the point in which he did something that caused his own death. It makes the most amount of sense that they inevitably discovered this. But it also plays into the idea of Niko becoming more like Gaoh Mukaku because he would go on to do the exact same type of evil actions, or better yet, do them even more than Gaoh Mukaku did. And so when we look back on this scene with Niko seeing Gaoh Mukaku dead on the floor after all the evil that he has done, Niko might also be looking at his potential fate. He has become more of Gaoh Mukaku than Gaoh Mukaku ever was. He has become more evil than Gaoh Mukaku was, and shows no signs of really stopping. In his introduction into the manga of Kengan Omega, he even gloats at Oma's master, Niko number 4, Tokita Niko, that because he had passed away, no one could stop him, and even has a moment where he says this: "Once you're dead, the story is over, but I've lived on to this day and kept on learning. I was defeated 12 years ago by the man with the same name, but I'm not the same man I was back then, all because I live."